Profile Pod TV. I'm your host, back again. I'm Double A here for another spectacular episode of the pod, man. And we got another dandy one for you in store tonight, man. As you can see, we got our special guest here of the evening. Before we get into our special guest and start things off, I just wanted to mention a couple things. Don't forget to subscribe to Profile Pod TV on YouTube. Support the show, support the cause, support Double A, your man. So don't forget to do that. Also, don't forget to leave me a rate review on Apple Podcasts. Shoot me a DM. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, Clubhouse, all that good stuff. Once again, I want to thank everybody for all the support out there, man. Everybody's been so supportive, and that's what it's all about because I aim to please the audience and create content and a fabulous show, man. I want to entertain. That's my goal. So it's really great to be here back on the pod. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into tonight's guest. This gentleman hails out of Harlem, New York City. He's a music producer, master engineer, a sound designer. He's the CEO of Mad Bull Productions, and he has his own studios. You can see, I think he's in there right now. He has the best ears in the business, ladies and gentlemen. He's worked with some big names. For example, Wiz Khalifa, KRS-One, Fat Joe, Too Short, Chef Raekwon. I mean, the list goes on. Wyclef Jean. He was on the Sway in the Morning show, and just has done a plethora of things in the industry, and it's a huge honor to have him here, right here on first time on Profile Pod TV. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast, my man, Big French. How you doing, boss?
What up, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. It's a pleasure having you here. How's everything out in Harlem today, man?
Everything's good. The weather's turning nice, and people are outside. You know what I mean? We was indoors for a whole year.
Tell me about it, brother. Yeah, we're out here in LA, and yeah, like you said, things are starting to open up today, man. As a matter of fact, the state opened up officially, so which is kind of cool, right? Things are getting back to normal. People are just out there, and life. Just it's great to have life back to normal, man.
Right. At least getting back that way. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly, and it's a huge step going back. Is it pretty warm out there in New York City today?
Extremely warm. Like we in the 90s this week. You know what I mean? So it's all good. You know what I mean? Some sun. The women are outside.
That's never a bad thing, right? That's never a bad thing. Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, it's pretty warm out here too, man. I think it's in the mid 90s as well. So, we're heading in that direction of the summertime, man. So, yeah, man. I want to thank you once again for being here, Big French.
No, thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. No, it's I'm really impressed with your body of work, man. You've done a lot of big things in this business, and I know you've been producing about, correct me if I'm wrong, over 20 years now, right? About 20 years?
About that.
No doubt, man. No doubt. We're going to get into your story and everything, man. And by the way, I was watching the debut episode today of you and Mark and Nicole Porter and Mike, of course, on the new show. And that was a really cool episode, man. Debut show. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, more of that coming very soon.
I bet, man. I bet. Yeah, Mike came on here, man. We had a great time, but yeah.
That's my brother, Mike Powers. Shout out to Mike Powers. That's my brother.
Mike Powers is a special man, man. That guy, he's a very talented individual, and
very talented, very smart, very and he's a good guy all around. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man.
He's a rare one. You don't bump into those kind of people all the time.
No, yeah, exactly. We were talking earlier. It's just you come across people in life, and sometimes you just hit it off, and then things just move so quickly because the chemistry and the dynamic is so powerful.
That's exactly what happened with us. Like we're all, like I said, we're all like relatively new friends, and the chemistry was just so crazy. And Mike had the wherewithal to be like, yeah, we need to put this shit on camera. And that's kind of what it is. Like I said, it's more about our chemistry more than trying to tell a story or tell gossip or any crazy shit like that. Like, we just want to give the people our vibe, because our vibe is so good. Like, people need to see that shit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a special vibe, man. And you know, you want, yeah, you want to capture that magic, and I feel it, man. I feel it. But it's gonna be nice to see where that show goes, man. And but Big French, man, let's take it back to kind of like the to the beginning, man. Kind of, you know, how did this journey start for you, man, as a music producer? You know,
My journey started in probably 1992 when I graduated from the Institute of Audio Research to become an engineer. Like, once I graduated from there, that's when it was like, because I mean, going to that school for me was the cheat code. You know what I mean? Because I was already kind of producing, but you know, around that time, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If I learned how to be an engineer, I can make my beat sound better.
mm.
And that was my whole motivation. And then, like, once I got into it, it was like, you know what? I could make a living out of this. You know? And
Yeah.
you know, I was still young. You know what I'm saying? 92, I was still young. I was about 20 years old. And you know, and it was a nice way to go to kind of avoid like the street life.
No doubt, man.
You know, selling drugs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. You grew up in New York City?
Yeah.
Harlem?
Grew up in Harlem.
Grew up at home, man. Yeah, yeah. That's how was that, man? Growing up in New York City, man. I mean,
Well, Harlem is unlike any other place in the world. First of all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's other boroughs in New York City that make up New York City, but Harlem is a special place because it's the smallest borough. So a lot of us here in Harlem, we all know each other. We grew up with each other. So there's that camaraderie, that closeness that you have with a person, with like the whole block. You feel that way about. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, I came up at a time where, you know, other people's parents had a hand in raising you and how you conduct yourself in the street. You know, like, you didn't want to curse around, you know, Miss Mamie, or you didn't want to curse around Miss Johnson, because she'd run back and tell your grandmother, and then there's trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it kept us in check in a way. You know what I'm saying? It kept us respectful, things of that nature.
yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. And you know, I have a lot of respect for New York City. I love everything about New York City, man. I've been there once. I was there back in 2010, and truly enjoyed my little, you know, 5 days there, man. The one thing I really loved about it, man, is you know, coming from LA, you didn't have to drive anywhere, man. I was in that subway, man. That subway was beautiful, man.
You said
Of,
beautiful. Like,
of,
people in New York hate the subway. Like,
uh,
I haven't taken a train in a few years. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, once you like buy a car, it's like, man, fuck that train, fuck that bus. Like, I never take the bus though. If I got to take mass transit, I'm taking the train, because
yeah.
buses got to stop for stops and lights, and I'm impatient. I want to hurry up and get there. You know what I'm saying? But the subways is hot, semi-dangerous, and sometimes it's packed. Well, pre-COVID, it used to be packed, where, you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know, right up on a person, and you know what I'm saying, that's never comfortable. So it's like,
Yeah.
let me just get a car. And then I checked my Uber bill one day, and I'm like, you know what? As much money as I spend on Uber, I can just buy a fucking car. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, man. Yeah, that's interesting.
But shout out to Uber, because Uber's a wonderful thing.
Uber.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. No, but going back to what you were saying, man, about, you know, the neighbors and the you know, somebody's grandparents, kind of everybody's kind of raising the neighbors' kids, and I think I appreciate that closeness of New York City, man.
Yeah.
Right? You guys were kind of like here in you know, LA. We're in tract homes. We're kind of spread out a little bit more, but there's like everybody kind of knows each other's kids, families, and stuff like that, and you grow up together.
And it's like, it's a closeness. It's like you had like the privilege of growing up having multiple parents. Like, whoever your best friends were, their parents were your parents when you were over at their house. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was always that, like, you're close with a person, you can just walk in the house and go in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? That determines a lot.
No doubt, no doubt. How close were you to, or are you to Rucker Park?
Um, I'm in what you call South Harlem. Soha, what they want, what the gentrifiers want to change it to, but that'll never happen.
You said that Soha?
Right? They want to call it Soha and Noha. That's a no-go. That's never gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But the gentrifiers, you know, came to Harlem and they kind of moved in with the kind of attitude that they belong here and that they can do what they want and start changing names of things and moving shit around. Like, but that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have a fight before that happens.
No doubt, man. No, that goes back generations, right? I mean,
right. Yeah, like I'm what they call old Harlem. You know what I mean?
Old school, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of dudes that I grew up with aren't here on this earth anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with being the big homie or the unk, as the young kids say, whatever. It doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No doubt, man. The OG, as they say out here.
Mm-hmm.
The veteran.
I don't mind.
Right, man.
Hip hop keeps you young.
It does, man.
Hip hop keeps you young. Like, if you want to stay young forever, be involved in hip hop in some way.
Definitely, man. You know, so when did you discover your love for music, Frenchie?
I'll tell you a quick story. It's actually kind of funny. Like, as a kid growing up, when my moms would put me on punishment, right? She'd be like, you know, go to your room, stay in your room, and you can't go outside. But I had a Casio keyboard, a really big, noisy ass keyboard, right? So I go in there pissed off and I start making a bunch of fucking noise. But my mother, being smart as she would just ignore that shit. And eventually I got tired of hearing noise. So I learned how to, like, I would play the things that I heard on the radio. You know what I'm saying? That was like my practice.
Okay.
So eventually I got good at the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm self-taught when it comes to keyboards and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? From young, because like I said, I was in there in my room on punishment for doing some dumb shit. And I'm in there with the keyboard. And after a while, after an hour banging on the keys, trying to make my mother mad to send me outside, I get tired of hearing that shit. So I'm trying to make music now. And it became addictive.
Yeah. How old were you during this time? How old were you?
I'm probably like, you know, my early teens, you know, 11, 12, you know.
So you start picking up you start getting better at the keyboard then.
Right. So then I'm playing like whole songs and shit. And then my older brother, his name is Rich Nice, you know, from X-Track Masters, was the first rapper signed to Motown. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And he was into production. And, you know, I was already DJing, and that's usually a producer's first step. They usually, most producers were DJs first. And I'm like, you know, in my early teens, early to late teens, I'm the hood DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I DJ the block parties, and I'm in, you know, basketball games, shit like that. So the next step for me was production. So I'm starting to make beats for my homies. You know what I'm saying? I'm using like, back then, I'm using like a cassette with a Casio S1 sampler. And this thing had no features, like you know, you couldn't even put a line into it to sample. It was just like speaker to mic. So you know the sample sounded terrible. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't care. You know what I'm saying? We were young and we just was amazed that we could actually make music. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so then I went to school. I went to the Institute of Audio Research. But once I left there, I started working in a studio called Noise in the Attic in Midtown Manhattan. And there I met DJ Doo-Wop from Doo-Wop and the Bounce Squad. I'm engineering for him. I'm engineering for a bunch of other people. And then in 1995, it's like, I'm doing a lot. Like, I'm engineering at the studio. I get my first placement with KRS-One in 95, and Doo-Wop drops a mixtape that later goes on into Hip Hop Hall of Fame called 95 Live. Remember that?
95 Live, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, the thing about this mixtape is it had an intro that was a half an hour long. And everybody who was anybody at the time was on there spitting a freestyle. We talking Wu-Tang, Buster, Q-Tip, Guru, God bless his dead. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was on this mixtape, on this intro. And I think it was the first mixtape to go like mixtape platinum. You know what I'm saying? It was just a really, that was a good summer. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that was like for me, for my career, that was the spark.
That from that point on, things just kind of took off.
Because I engineered Doo-Wop and the Bounce Squad, simultaneously getting my first production placement with KRS-One.
Wow.
So now, you know, I'm an established producer and I'm an established engineer. The same year.
Wow. Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. So from that point on, what was kind of your next your next project or gig that you could remember?
After KRS-One, man, I was just doing a lot of engineering and just getting my chops up with that. I mean, not putting the production to the side, but I was still doing production. But at the time, I wasn't getting many placements because there was a time. This was back when the record companies were still like thriving, and the kind of the rule of thumb was at that time, like all the production went to the big boys like Premier, Pete Rock. You know, they wasn't really checking for the underground production producers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, fuck that. I can do this engineering thing in the meantime. And that's what I was doing, you know, getting my chops up.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So who were some of your early hip hop influences, Big French? So like 15-year-old Big French, who are you listening to back then, man?
15-year-old Big French, I'm listening to Rakim.
You
know what I'm saying?
Being Rakim, huh?
Yeah. I'm thinking that's probably around that time. Let's see. Yeah, probably Rakim. Anyway, we talk about influences, so we like Rakim, KRS-One, you know what I'm saying? I was always heavy into like bars, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, like growing up in hip hop, the bars didn't really start until around that time. You know what I'm saying? Before that, the rhymes were still like sing-song, you know what I'm saying? Real predictable rhymes, you know what I'm saying? Cat, hat, fat, sack rhymes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Rakim to me was the first one to kind of bend the rules on the format of rap. You know what I mean? He changed the game because after that, now everybody want to be lyrical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you had, kind of then you know De La Soul comes in and
Daisy Age and all that, and I was a fan of like the Jungle Brothers.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were Daisy Age, but they still had flow and raps and bars. You know what I mean?
Right. You know,
they were like the street version of De La Soul.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Jungle Brothers were more of a street version of De La Soul to me.
Yeah, Jungle Brothers, man. Definitely. What did you ever get into EPMD?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Eric
Sermon is probably one of the most unsung producers in the game. Like he deserves way more props as a producer, I think, because his beats are fucking crazy. And one of my favorite songs in hip hop is Music.
Yeah.
By Eric Sermon. Like that shit is just a beautiful fucking record. Like anytime, any place, that record can play, and it gives you that, you know, this shit is dope feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And he was the producer for EPMD, or did they kind of go back at him and Parrish kind of go back and forth?
I think it was between EPMD and probably their producer Scratch. I mean, their DJ Scratch. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he got had a lot of hand in their production as well. But I'm thinking a lot of it was Eric.
Yeah, man. That's and then you know, what about Public Enemy and then you know, of course came
Public
in.
Enemy, like when they had like everything had their era, and each era was just dope. Like Public Enemy kind of falls in like the Black Power era when everything was like the African medallions and you know what I'm saying? Like Public Enemy and like, man, I miss X-Clan.
Oh.
Brother Jay was like, that group, I had the kids like just proud to be black. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
they made you feel a certain way, those records. Like when you heard Brother Jay talk about all that African stuff, and like you may not know what he was talking about, but it made you want to go search that. Like if you felt like, yo, like we were really kings at one time. We were kings. Okay. Like, you know, and that's great for a kid to have that feeling. You know what I mean? That we're more, or we're worth more than what society puts on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. No, I remember that, Frenchie. I remember those years, man. The late '80s, early '90s, man. And yeah, movies like Do the Right Thing and you know Chuck D and Public Enemy coming out with some Fight the Power and New Jack City and yeah, there was definitely a lot of pride here on the West Coast as well, man. It was a hip hop thing, obviously, yeah. And but yeah, man, it was man, I'm so envious, man, because you know, you grew up in New York City, man. That's the Mecca, man. That's the Mecca of hip hop, you know. And you had all this stuff going on. You had all these artists. You had, I mean, just movies being made, just you know, down the line, even you know, going all the way back to the Beat Street. I mean, you know, it's just it's amazing, man. It's what happened out there.
It was beautiful, man. Like, and I'm glad to say, like, I was there for a lot of that shit. I mean, like, a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And now you got. I mean, it's safe to say, it's almost every country in the world has got some you know lyricists now, man. I mean,
oh yeah, right now, like it's like hip hop is global thing. It's not just a New York thing, a United States thing. It's around the world. You can spin the globe and close your eyes and pick a country, and it's going to be a hip hop scene there.
Yeah,
you just got to know where to look. It's there. Because I bumped into Russian rappers, African rappers, Italian rappers, French rappers, Japanese rappers, like the whole gambit, bro.
Incredible, man, incredible. Speaking of Russian, I think my man, what is it, Trilla?
Trillmatic,
right?
He just did a joint with G4 Jag. He's rapping in Russian.
That's incredible, man. That's
incredible. Here's the thing. A lot of it don't even have to do with the words if you understand them or not. But you know a flow if it's a good flow or not. You think what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with the words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If he's in pocket and riding that beat the right way, it doesn't matter what the fuck he's saying because it's still gonna sound sonically well to the ear.
Absolutely. 100%, man. Yeah, exactly. You hit it on the head. There's a fluidity to it, right?
Right. It has to flow a certain way.
Yeah.
Those syllables, you may not understand the words, but those certain syllables and vowels got to land on the beat in certain places and rhyme. You know what I'm saying? It's for it to be a rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, man, I want to ask you, man, what was it like to work with some of these big time artists, man? Like, for example, you know, Chef Raekwon, man, what was he like in the studio? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, the one time I was in the studio with Raekwon the Chef, they were doing 95 Live.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And they came in, it was like this. And in 95, this was like Wu-Tang's like heyday. So it was 1,000 of these motherfuckers in the studio. It was crazy. But you know, everybody was there to work. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't take too long. Like, they figured out which Wu-Tang members were gonna actually be on the freestyle, and then everybody else left. And then they sat down. I played the beat over and over and over while they wrote to it. And then they got in the booth, they spit their bars, couple takes, not long, wasn't all night, and they left. And that was their part on 95 Live. I mean, it was dope just to be in the room with those guys, because, you know, I'm young and I'm like, yo, this is Wu-Tang. All of them. You know what I mean?
Was there a little bit of an intimidation factor on your part, or not so much intimidation, kind of maybe like a nervousness, like a kind of a...
Of course. I mean, remember in 95, I only been out of school 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I graduated in 92, so I'm still fairly new at this shit. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is back, 95 was the year the world went digital. You know, before that, it was like ADATs and DA88s and shit like that. And some studios were still using reel-to-reel.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, you didn't need none of that shit. And it was like, you know, the owner of the studio was like, hey, it's going right into the computer. I'm like, word? Oh, wow, that's going to change the game. And then it did.
Yeah.
Everybody with a Pro Tools setup, they're an engineer now.
Absolutely, man. You're talking about 95, Frenchie, a lot, man. And for me, that I was in the Navy. I was 19 years old. And I mean, that was the year, like you said, that was Wu-Tang's heyday. And then you had Tupac at the top of his game. You had, you know, Biggie. You had, I mean, all kinds of artists, man. I mean, De La Soul, Tribe was doing their thing. You had, man, I can't even think. There's so many artists that were.
In 95, the energy in hip hop was so crazy. Like everything was happening and everything that was coming out was just so dope. You know what I mean? It was just like, everything was just like on point, like right at that moment. Like 95 was just one of those years where everything was aligned and the fucking energy was perfect and everybody involved was just at their peak. You know what I mean?
Right. And then you know, on the West Coast, you had Dre doing their thing and his thing, Snoop, and Dog Pound,
right?
Short was coming out with stuff. E40. I mean, just man, what a beautiful time it was.
It was bananas, bro. It was, like I missed them times because it was like shit that was going on at the time. Even then, you knew like this kind of shit's never gonna happen again. You know what I mean?
Right. I know. Yeah, man. Or sometimes maybe I was, you know, you feel you don't really think like too far down the line. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't know if this is gonna happen again, like you said, or you know, maybe we thought, oh, this is gonna be like a common thing going forward. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm weird like that. I be knowing shit. Like they call me French Nostradamus on the low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was looking around at the world in 95 like, yo, this shit is so dope. It's never gonna happen again. And it didn't, and it still has.
No. It's
no, but I hope like the work we're doing now will like mean to the world as much as the work that we did in 95 would mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like not to change the subject, but like Lord Mob, like these guys I'm working with now, they got a stranglehold on the industry right now, and this is a good time for us. You know what I mean?
I've seen some of the artists, you know, Lord Mob and the general, what's Flea Lord, right? Oh man, he's just phenomenal, man, phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, you guys, they're doing some great work, man, and it's like you said, yeah. Hopefully, it can be as epic as you know. We're talking about 95 and in the mid 90s.
And I believe that they're gonna talk about the work I did with Lord Mob like forever. You know what I mean? Because the way this company moves is there's nothing new under the sun. So I won't say it's never been done, but it hasn't been done like this in a long while.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like where a company is gathering people and artists from all over the country and kind of making it one super team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Squad. You know?
Yeah, man. The hip hop industry right now is it's talk about that a little bit, Frenchie. I mean, tell us, put me up on game, man. It's evolving, right?
It's gonna always evolve. It's totally 100% different than it was, and let's say like back in the day, like when record companies had the reins on everything. Because now we're in a deep, DIY world, do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, where everybody's kind of like You go out and you spend $1,500 on a Mac, you got a studio in a box.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you buy a mic to go with that, and you can spend under $5 grand and have a nice studio in your crib. You know what I'm saying? And this is where we at with it. Walk around with a studio in your knapsack. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at with technology. And if you know what you're doing and you teach yourself or go to school, go to school. But you know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of people that have been teaching themselves, and like I wish they had YouTube back in the day when I was growing up. I'd be a trillionaire by now. You know what I'm saying? Like all the free information on fucking YouTube, kids, you better take advantage. Man, that shit goes away tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I had it. It was right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. And I want to go back to kind of the artists you've worked with, man. What was Black Thought?
Oh, shit.
Working with, man.
Listen, shout out to Rich Nice, my brother Rich Nice. He sent Black Thought to my studio. He had to do something for the Tonight Show. I'm not whatever show that the Roots are on, and he had to spit a verse or something, and he had no other studio to go to. So of course, he comes here, and he was super chill. You know what I'm saying? He came in, he was very humble. And in my mind, I'm kind of geeking in my mind, like, yo, that's motherfucking Black Thought in that whole studio, in my motherfucking studio. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, right? Let's go.
Yeah.
So he comes in, I play the beat. He gets in the zone, he's writing. About 15, 20 minutes later, he's like, all right, I'm ready. He gets in the booth. I record him. I remember it was one take. He laid it down. He laid down his leads. He laid down his ad-libs. He was done and out the door. He said, yo, email it here. I'm out. And he was gone. You know what I'm saying? But I did. Yeah. I was able to take one picture with him before he left.
Is that like?
Yeah, it's on my gram. Big French MVP on the gram. Go see that. You have to scroll down a little bit. It was a while ago.
Yeah, I got it. And you worked with him just that one time?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool, man. Stuff like that just fascinates me, man. Yeah, I mean, just one take and that. I mean, just that was it, huh? Just
one take, and it was that good. Out the door.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
And for those of you not familiar with Black Thought, he's from the Roots, right?
Yeah. If you don't know who Black Thought is and you call yourself being a part of hip hop, you might want to go do some studying. He is an incredible fucking rapper. I mean, out of this world.
Gosh. Philadelphia, PA, right?
Huh?
The Roots from Philadelphia, right? I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
From Philly, yeah. And wow, man, yeah. And who's name one more artist, Frenchie, who was an absolute pleasure to work with, man. Can you tell us, give us one more artist that you really enjoyed working with in the studio?
God bless the dead, my bro, Black Rob.
He
was my boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did his last album here, Genuine Article.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, talk about that experience, man.
I knew Rob since the Woe days. You know what I'm saying? I known him a while, so I've been working with him like off and on since I met him. You know what I mean? But then when we did the album Genuine Article, it was like he wasn't with Bad Boy anymore. He wasn't with Duck Down. He was just kind of independent. So he was like, fuck it, let's just do an album independent. You know what I'm saying? Put it out ourselves. And that's kind of what we did. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Gosh, and when was that last time? When was he in your studio last?
He was in my studio last around the time we did that album. Like, unfortunately, like, some people know, some people don't. Like, he had his first stroke in my studio.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was the guy that took him to the hospital. You know.
Yeah.
The only reason I like to tell people that I was the one that took him to the hospital because I know what the doctor told me. There was a lot of rumors about him being on drugs and that sort of thing. And the doctor told me he had 0 drugs in the system when I brought him in there.
Yeah.
That's, like, I just would like, you know, I don't like to hear, you know, industry rumor shit. It's whack. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why, you know, he's gone now. So there shouldn't be no reason to even talk bad on him.
Of course, man. Rest in peace. Yeah, no doubt, man.
He was a good dude at the end of the day. So that's that on Black Rob. That's my dude. Rest in peace.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so, what kind of equipment do they still make those SP 1200s?
SP 1200s. Yeah, they still make them. But I mean, I don't know if they still make them. I know they still sell them. Like, you know, like I've seen a couple people come up on them, like on eBay or little music equipment sites and things of that nature. I'm not sure if they still actually physically make them.
But there's people still you can still.
There's still circulating. There's people still using them. Like shout out to Easy Mo B. I see him on his Instagram lives. He's doing he remakes the beats that he made back in the days.
Uh-huh.
He does it on the SP, and it's fucking incredible.
Wow.
I you know what? As long as I've been in production, I never really got with that machine. I didn't like it because the buttons are hard, and if you tap on them shits long enough, you'll get square fingers. So I was like, the MPC pads are nice and soft. You can bang on them shits all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get finger fatigue and shit like that.
Right. No doubt, man. No doubt. I was watching your appearance on Big Sway in the morning.
Sway's the homie.
Yeah. That was a cool appearance, man. Where was that in New York City?
Yeah, downtown Manhattan.
Downtown Manhattan, yeah. Man.
Thanks to COVID, I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think they're doing remote shows, like everybody's home or wherever they are, and they kind of send a camera crew over to your house and do it there.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if they're back in the studio yet, but I know at the end of the month they're supposed to be lifting the whole mask mandate. So
yeah,
you won't be required to wear a mask every fucking way no more. Because I know, I think today they said like New York is like 75% vaccinated.
Wow. Yeah. Shit. It seems like it's almost like who's not vaccinated now? Shit. No,
I'm not.
Yeah.
Fuck that, bro. I'm not doing that.
I feel you, man. I'm right there.
Listen, I trust my immune system before I trust that bullshit that they're giving out to people.
Oh gosh. Yeah. God forbid in 3 to 5 years or whatever, God forbid, start seeing, but that's a whole different conversation, right?
Man, old man, the Chevys, man, don't get me started. Because I'm one of those conspiracy theorists that they call us, you know what I'm saying? But it's all a conspiracy. It's always a conspiracy until the shit happens.
Right.
Then it's, oh man, we should have listened to you. Late now, you fucking growing an eyeball out your armpit. Now what? What kind of vaccine? And listen, I'm gonna just say this. I don't know if any of you people used to watch zombie movies. How do they make zombies all the time? It always comes from a bad vaccination.
Oh gosh, man. Yeah. Damn.
Even down to the one, what's that joint that Will Smith did?
Oh, gosh, you mean the movie?
Yeah.
Men in Black?
Nah. More newer than that.
Oh man.
He did a zombie movie.
Oh, you got me, man. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I can't think of it right now.
That one.
Yeah, we'll look it up, man. Hey, Frenchie, in your opinion, man, what makes a good music producer, man? What are some key components one must possess to be a good quality music producer, man?
Good ears. I mean, and imagination. Like, you gotta sometimes be willing to step outside the boundaries when you're making your beats. I hear a lot of stiff beats, a lot of shit that sounds very microwaved, a lot of shit that sounds very stiff. Like, don't be afraid to do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Of course.
And I don't say that to try to put anybody down. I mean, there's a lot of I've been hearing a lot of good beats as well as not so good beats. I've been hearing a lot of good shit. There's a lot of producers out there that are doing their fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it comes with the territory. You got your good guys and your bad guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like anything, right?
Right. Like anything. And at the end of the day, it's all opinionated. You know what I'm saying?
True, true.
Shit I might think is trash, another person might think that shit's dope. And vice versa. So it's all about opinions, and
yeah,
everybody's entitled, they say, right?
What's that?
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Right.
To each his own. And but I like what you said, man, about production, man. I think it was on Respect the Beat on that clip, and someone asked you what you like most about production. You said, like, when an artist starts with an empty. You described it when
Right.
when an artist starts with an empty canvas. A producer starts with a silent room. Right, and fills it with music, and then the end process, the end result is the final product. And when you sitting back, you bobbing your head, you're listening to what you just produced.
Right.
I mean, that's the juice for you, right?
Yeah, that is an undescribable, awesome feeling. You know what I'm saying? When you come into a room, you don't know. I mean, I know me anyway. When I come into the room to produce, I have no fucking clue what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting with an empty canvas. I'm starting with a silent room. And then I start tapping around, playing certain keys, going through certain samples, digging through the crates and shit like that. And by the time I'm done, a lot of times with me anyway, there's a blackout moment. Like, I'm searching through samples and then the beat's done. And I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember even like putting the drums to that or the bass line to that. Like, that just happened. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
It's like, that's when you're in the moment so much. You're not even paying attention to it. You're in like automatic mode. You're doing shit, but you're not really paying attention to what you're doing. That's when you're like channeling some other, intelligence at that point. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Yeah.
And I know a lot of my best music comes out in that process.
You just get into that zone, huh? You just
You're not really paying attention to it. You're grooving to whatever it is going on in the room, and you're just like, you're getting engulfed with the fucking ideas.
Wow, man. So when before an artist comes in, French, you don't kind of visualize, or you kind of space out. You don't have an idea what you're gonna do, or like you said, it's just kind of.
When I come in this room and I got production on my mind, I don't try to think about what's gonna happen. I just let it happen. And I might be feeling like jazz that day, or I might be feeling like an R&B mode. I might be feeling I'll do a rock beat. You know what I'm saying? It's just the feeling how I feel that day. You know what I'm saying? There's no telling, because I'm not just stuck in hip hop. I love hip hop. It's my birth. Hip hop raised me. It's more of a religion to me than a music. Culture. It's my religion. Like, I believe in hip hop.
Absolutely.
Man. So because I walk it, I talk it, I live it every day. I wear my hat to the side. That's hip hop. All day, forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, when it comes to this beat shit, you just gotta kind of embrace the moment, because you never know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna always knock it out the park. You know what I'm saying? There's been times I spent hours on a beat and then just to put it in the trash. Like, nah, that ain't it. But when it's it. It'll give you that fucking feeling like somebody's, sparked a fire in your chest. You're like, oh shit, that's it.
Yeah.
And those beats are called no-brainers. Anybody who hears it is gonna like it or want to rap to it.
Right.
You know?
I get you, man.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah. You just know, man. You just know when you. It sounds like you're a perfectionist too, though, right?
Absolutely. I mean, not to like an asshole, not to be an asshole about it, but
yeah.
I have set certain standards for myself, through the years. Now it has to sound a certain way for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So however long that may take, but I'm also a very impatient person, so I like to get shit done fast. To get on to the next thing.
Right.
It's like, but I know they say haste makes waste, but I think if you kind of know what you're doing, then why not move at a faster pace? That's how me and Flea got 12 albums done in 12 months, because I work fast and he works fast.
Man.
Like that wouldn't have happened with the average rapper.
No.
You know what I'm saying? An album, 10 songs a month for 12 months, that consistency. Who's doing that? I mean, they're trying to do it now. You know what I'm saying? After we've done it already, now it's like, oh, now you want to make 12 albums, Papoose? Now you want to make 12 albums? Mr. Rapper nobody knows over there? Like, I hear it all the time. Yo, I'm going to make 12 albums this year. We did that already.
Man, I forgot about that, man. I forgot about that. That's incredible. That's incredible. You produced all 12 and
I didn't produce all 12. I engineered it. I mixed and mastered and recorded all 12.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I produced songs here and there, but a lot of those albums were like whoever producer he decided to work with produced the whole album. Like shout out to Buck Wild, Pete Rock, and DJ Shay, God bless the dead, R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? Like those 3 albums alone.
Gosh.
Havoc on the last joint for the year was In the Name of P. Entirely produced by Havoc. And that was oof. That's how you go out with a bang when you're doing 12 albums for the year.
That's just epic, man.
And the features on that one retarded. Like you got Busta Rhymes and Raekwon the Chef on the same album. Who's doing that?
Gosh, unreal, man. Lord, are you coming out in September, man, for those shows?
I would like to. I gotta see what's going on because tour schedules and studio schedules usually don't match up.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any promises, but if I can, I will. If I can't, I'll be there in spirit.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to go to that. September, Flea Lord, and gosh, that's gonna be 12 albums in 12 months, man. Phenomenal, man. Yeah, man. So what's next for you, Big French, man? I mean, what are some upcoming projects you can talk about?
Upcoming projects for me is I got a project out right now for a reason with Reef Hustle, and another album out right now, Lennox Hughes, The Return of Sugar Ray and Quick.
Yeah.
And For a Reason is only available on torchville.com. Torchville.com. And The Return of Ray and Quick, that's everywhere. That's on every streaming platform. You know what I'm saying? It's out everywhere. You check those 2 projects out if you haven't. And then I'm working on, currently, you can catch me on the Mike Powers Show. You know what I'm saying? I'm a co-host on the Mike Powers Show. We released our first episode today.
I was watching that today, man. Congratulations on that debut episode, man. That's fire, man.
We get some nice reviews. I can't complain about the reviews we're getting. And that was just our first one. You know what I mean? We've just begun this particular journey. And I'm loving the way it's going. And I want to shout out my co-hosts, Nicole Porter, Mark Q75, and of course, the mighty Mike Powers. I love those people. You know what I mean? So, we're going to ride with that and see where that goes, where that truck is taking us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's exciting, man. That's exciting. Like I said, man, you guys are capturing some magic on the camera, on film there, and on YouTube. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen that, go check out the Mike Powers Show, fully loaded, with my man right here, Big French, co-hosting, and creating some magic, making it epic.
Why not?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got some a couple rapid fire questions for you right here, man.
Okay.
New York Yankees or New York Mets?
Yankees.
Yankees. New York Knicks or Brooklyn Nets?
Nets.
Okay, okay. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, all right, all right. Let me see, Dr. Dre or DJ Quick?
DJ Quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that, man. I have to agree on that one. I have to agree with you.
Quick is dope. Quick is another one of those unsung producers, man. He made some joints. His beats are crazy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And that Cali sound, like, this shit's embedded.
Yeah. It's you hit it. You're right, man. You're right. What else can we say, man? I mean, he's got that sound, and yeah, it's he's also he can rap too, man. He's a good.
Yeah, sure. Right? Take away from Quick.
No, nothing. He's the whole package.
He's one of those rare dudes that can make his own beats and rap. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of them out there that do both well. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right. No, it's yeah, man. So yeah, I just wanted to throw those questions at you, man. What last question for you, man, before we wrap things up. Who are some influencers in your life, mentors, and throughout your life, man? It could be anyone, celebrity. It could be personal friends, family that you would love to sit down with now and have dinner with, man.
My early influences were James Brown. James Brown, like, I would listen to his music like religiously growing up.
He's from Harlem, right?
James Brown? No.
No?
James Brown's from the South.
Oh, I want to say, why did I think he was from Harlem?
Nah, he's not from Harlem. James Brown from the South. I want to say Macon, Georgia. I'm not sure. I can't be quoted on that. But I think he's from Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
So I listen to a lot of James Brown, Curtis Mayfield, Roy Ayers, that sort of music growing up. And that's like my influence as far as like production would probably be like, of course, Pete Rock. He's the big homie. You know what I'm saying? And he's a personal friend of mine.
Oh man, like I got a lot of respect for that guy, man.
Premier, of course. Man, there's just so many. KRS-One is actually a producer too.
Wow.
He does beats. If I'm not mistaken, he produced They Call Me Be Nice. Lord Jamal is a dope producer. Another one of my personal friends / big homies, Lord Jamal.
Brand Nubian, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he produces. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow, man. Yeah, we didn't even get into. I mean, there's just so many from New York, man. I mean, it's incredible. It's too many to name.
Lord Finesse.
Lord Finesse.
Lord Finesse. Like in my mind, Lord Finesse is the originator of the punchline. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of rappers wasn't really throwing out really witty, funny punchlines until Lord Finesse was on the scene. So shout out to him and the whole DITC crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow, my homie.
Wow. Excellent, man.
Yeah, and I've just been fortunate in this game, like to meet and actually be friends with a lot of the people I grew up listening to. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man. That's
Very fortunate in that aspect.
I can't even imagine, man. Being personal friends with Pete Rock. Are you kidding me, bro? Oh man.
My God.
CL Smooth and those
Well,
guys.
I don't know CL. I never met CL, but
Right.
like, listen, that album or any album by Pete Rock and CL Smooth, just man, that was one duo that should have never broke up in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just heartbreaking because a lot of those albums was what kind of I aspired to sound like that. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, like, I said, I want my beats to sound like this Pete Rock shit right here. You know what I mean? So, huge influence on me.
No doubt, man. Well, man, I wish you nothing but the best of luck, man. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, man. And I wish you nothing but the greatest success. French, you're welcome, man. Absolutely, man. And you're welcome back here anytime, man. Before we go ahead and plug. Where can the good people follow you, man? Where can they see your
You can catch me on Instagram, Big French MVP. You can catch me on the book, Frenchie Hunt. That's my government name. You can catch me on anywhere online is either Big French or Frenchie Hunt. I'm really easy to find. www.madbullproductions.com is my website. SoundCloud.com/Big French. I got beats up there. I got songs up there. You can catch me on the Mike Powers Show on YouTube. Check his page. We can try to bring you one of those every week as best we can.
Ooh, okay.
I'm saying you're dealing with 4 different personalities who all have 4 different schedules.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're in different parts of the world with different time zones. So right. It's not the easiest thing to make it all come together, but somehow we make it happen.
Yep. Exactly. When it's meant to be, it's supposed to happen. It's gonna happen.
That's a fact, brother.
That's right. That's right, man. Hey, well, thanks again, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time coming on. And
anytime, man. Anytime, I'll come on back.
Absolutely. Let's get you back on, man, and we'll see what the future holds for us, man. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. My man, Big French. Go follow him. Go check out his music. Go give him a follow, and you will not be disappointed. This man has done some big things. He's worked with the biggest names in music, R&B, and hip hop, and it's been a pleasure having him here. Thank you once again for tuning in here. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the audio platforms, much appreciation. Nothing but love for you. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that purple logo there at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Leave a rate review. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, and all that good stuff, man. I love getting the feedback. I love getting constructive criticism. And yeah, man, it's all good. Much appreciation, nothing but love. Again, we will see you guys next week with my man, Big French, Mad Bull Productions. I'm Double A, your host, reminding you to always take it easy. Peace.